Hello and welcome to Get Writing. I'm Dr. Stavros Halvatsis. There has been a tendency for some time in films and television series to present flawed protagonists, or anti-heroes if you will, that are not only dark but often downright pathological. The chief differences between such anti-heroes and antagonists in these stories seem to lie in the degrees of mental instability, criminality, and corruption. Dexter, Walter White, and Tony Soprano are not only central characters in their own stories, they are darker and more dangerous than their opponents. How then do we make audiences identify with such characters? How do we make them likable? After all, as screenwriting consultant Michael Haig points out, a writer must create a likable protagonist to avoid failure at the box office. For a start, we should note that the protagonist already has the deck stacked in his favor by virtue of his role in the story. It is his or her tale, after all. We watch or read the story because we find something enjoyable and compelling in the character. We are invested in him. Indeed, the protagonist is the character we spend most time with. We experience the world through his eyes. He is the person we know most about. Familiarity may breed contempt, but it also builds empathy and understanding for his dilemmas and motivations. Additionally, anti-hero protagonists are gifted individuals. They are cleverer or more cunning than their enemies, more persistent and more resilient.
Open your eyes and look at what you did! It took me a long time to get these little boys clean.
Dexter keeps outsmarting his opponents or has good fortune on his side, while Breaking Bad's Walter White is the best meth cook in the business.
Jesus, you got crystals in here 2 inches, 3 inches long.
This is pure glass. This is art, Mr. White.
Actually, it's just basic chemistry.
Tony Soprano may be a ruthless mafia boss, but he's also rich and smart, and a survivor to boot. There is something darkly attractive about him. He succeeds in being one step ahead of the law and his enemies through his ruthless determination. But ultimately, even such characters need to have positive traits to solicit empathy. Dexter is polite and mild-mannered.
Morning.
Hey, Dex.
Hey, Sue. Dan. How the families?
He kills dangerous criminals whose continued existence presents dangers to others. Tony Soprano shows a love for animals. His affinity with the family of ducks in his swimming pool, symbols of family, and his genuine dismay when they fly away endears us to him. Walter White too loves his family, although as the series progresses, his obsession to succeed rides roughshod over any values he may originally have had. Michael Haig stresses that a writer must introduce the protagonist's positive traits early on in the story before showing us his flaws. The darker the anti-hero, the more relevant the advice, especially when the negative traits far outnumber the positive ones. We have to like the character first before being allowed to peer into the darkness within him. Of course, you wouldn't like to make friends with any of these characters in the real world, but within the safe shell of the story, that is an intriguing and even exhilarating prospect. To sum up, draw us close to your anti-heroes by showing us their best side first, before showing us their worst. As we become familiar with their flaws, we will indulge them more, much like we indulge an addiction we know is bad, but can't quite bring ourselves to quit. Well, that's it for now. If you learned anything of value in this video, hit that like and subscribe button and drop me a comment to share your thoughts and help the channel grow. See you soon.